From the News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine on this Wednesday. Good show on tap for you. I think it's something that, here in Tennessee, we've been talking about it a long time. Wine in grocery stores. Would it happen? When would it happen? How would it happen? Hey, it's happening. In fact, within the next 48 hours, you will be, if you are someone who takes an occasional glass of wine to drink, be able to buy it at your resident area grocery store. And now there are things you need to know about when, how, why, what's available and all that. And we're going to take some of your calls as well, 737-7587 if you have any questions on it. I'm not going to be the one answering those questions, even though I think I know some because I've been talking with our guest before the show. But he's going to be the one answering the questions. Robert Eichard's with us. You are with the Tennessee Grocers and Convenience Store Association, President and CEO. You obviously were very involved with the lobbying effort to get this into our grocery stores, correct?
Well, actually not correct, Nick.
Not correct?
I need to disclaim that.
Please. When I'm wrong, I want to be corrected.
The irony of all this is that I'm here as an expert on how wine got in grocery stores, and I wasn't even there. I got hired in my position right after that happened, and I should have explained that to you beforehand.
In your position, you are a lobbyist.
Absolutely, I am, and frankly, I'm very well steeped in the history of this, and have been lobbying very hard on wine issues since I started 2 years ago. So I think I can give you a pretty comprehensive explanation of what happened. But yes, and thank you for having me today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I stand corrected, and thank you for that. I'm wondering, now Tennessee's getting this now. How many other states do you know roughly, maybe not off the top of your head an exact number, but have wine in grocery stores?
The exact number as of today is 37.
37.
We'll be the 38th state in, like you said, just under 48 hours from right now.
July 1st is when it kicks in.
Right.
Now, we should be clear, this is wine we're talking about. Beer has already been in the grocery stores, not spirits, not distilled spirits, so no hard liquor. Are there other states? There are, I know the answer to that, but there are several states that sell wine and liquor in grocery stores, correct?
That is correct.
How many of those would you guess? It's a smaller number, I know, considerably.
I don't know how many sell spirits. It is a smaller number, but in some states you can walk into a convenience store and buy some hard liquor.
Yeah, a bottle of Jack Daniels right there.
Each state has its own laws. That started after Prohibition was repealed more than 70 years ago, and Tennessee developed its laws for its own citizens and business people, and our laws have been unique. We're the first state since Prohibition to really change the post-Prohibition regime, and it's really exciting to be in that position, and it's been very, very hard to do because once those laws were set, the business interests that had an interest in the law entrenched themselves very nicely and protected their business interests. So in Tennessee, the package liquor stores really had a monopoly on wine and spirit sales.
And they wanted to keep it that way.
Absolutely.
You can understand. I think for the normal consumer like myself, and I will have a glass of wine on occasion, and so, I would, if I was fixing pasta or some kind of red meat and I wanted a drink of wine with that, I'd have to go to the liquor store after the grocery store. So for me, the convenience, and I will still frequent liquor stores for other items, but for me, I appreciate the fact that there's going to be wine in the grocery store.
I think that's why this change is happening.
Convenience.
When this whole movement started, the first thing that the proponents of wine and grocery store did was put together a coalition and do a survey of Tennessee households. And convenience was the reason why more than 70% of households said, yeah, we want to be able to buy wine where we buy food.
Was there any other reason? I mean, aside from the merchants who figure to stand to make more money by selling wine, but from the consumer's point of view, what other reason would there be besides really convenience?
Well,
maybe I'm missing.
Convenience is one major factor. I think another piece would be that moms who do grocery shopping with their toddlers on their side don't necessarily want to go into a liquor store to buy wine to serve with their dinner that night. So they would either skip the wine or have to go into that less desirable place to shop with their child.
I think that's a good point. I hadn't thought lot of that. Absolutely. Now, what we have in grocery stores, and I've seen it at the grocery store out where one of them I shop in Mount Juliet, they're already in place.
Yeah.
And it's literally, there's the wine section, and it's off limits until July 1st, but you see it's all stocked already. But it's just an aisle over from maybe where the potato chips are, and then there's the bread. I mean, it's there with everything else now.
And it's tantalizing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just something different in the store I had not seen before in Tennessee.
Well, it really is, and we have had people tweeting out pictures of this. People are just excited about it. And you walk through a grocery store, you see people taking pictures of the wine section because it's such a novelty. And I think people are really going to enjoy this new category.
Let's be clear then again. What type of products will be sold in the wine section? Obviously, wine. We've already established there will not be distilled spirits. No hard liquor, no Jack Daniels, no gin, no vodka, nothing like that. Will there be champagne?
Yes, champagne is a wine.
Okay, I guess it is.
Yes.
So champagne, is there, to your knowledge, it will have to meet a certain criteria. There are certain wines that can be higher in alcohol content than others. There may be a range there, but it has to qualify as a wine.
It does have to qualify as a wine, a fermented product of the grape, or designated as a fermented product of another type of fruit. Okay. So that I believe strawberry wine and blueberry wine and that kind of thing will be allowed.
Well, we hear, Boone's Farm, if you will, or things like that. I mean, there will be
you're going to see the full range of price points in wine.
Okay.
From very fine wine to discount wine to closeout wine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The prices, of course, will be restricted on the bottom end, though, by the law that passed in 2014. Grocery stores and liquor stores as well have to mark up wine by a minimum of 20%.
That's a tax? Is that the tax?
It's just a minimum markup. So the retailer marks up the product from the price at which he purchased it from the wholesaler, and the law says that he has to mark it up a minimum of 20%.
Well, and is that money profit for them?
It is, yes.
Well, I'm sure they're not complaining about that. The law is requiring them to make an extra profit.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. I think that some retailers might want to sell it below 20%.
Oh, maybe would to get the competition. Yeah.
In grocery stores, the reason that this law is in place, I think, is to level the playing field for the package stores, the liquor stores, who now find themselves in competition with a retailer who might sell wine as a loss leader to get them to come in and buy more groceries. I
see that. And we need to keep that as a level playing field. That's an excellent point. So, and of course, Uncle Sam takes a chunk, doesn't he, anyway, of any kind?
Well, there are alcohol taxes, yes.
Will some of the wines, as you know, and I know you're a big fan of a buttery Chardonnay, and sometimes you would like that to be chilled, will some of the wines be able to be purchased chilled at the grocery store?
Absolutely,
they will be there, maybe next, just down from the beer, perhaps?
Yep, I've seen it. Yes, I know that grocery stores in Tennessee that will be selling wine have invested a lot of money to prepare for Friday, and including electricity and refrigeration to serve wine at that. Yeah.
The other part of it that's kind of intriguing to me is all these products were already in the grocery store minus the wine, but now that wine's there, I could see how grocery stores might move items that go with wine into the proximity, so that, and maybe a cheese section that'll be very close to the wine, certain type of crackers, certain type of meats, or whatever, okay, I'm going to have some cheese and crackers tonight with a glass of wine, and it's all going to be in one section.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's going to be really interesting to see how
they all do it differently.
How they place wine near certain foods. I just heard a very interesting presentation on what beef sales and how beef sales and wine sales complement each other.
Yes.
And I expect to see wine displayed near the meat counter.
Absolutely. So it's not restricted to a certain section of the grocery store. It's their choice where they'd like to put it. And by the way, you talk grocery stores, you think Big E's, Publix, Kroger's, things like that. Will wine also be available in convenience stores, Tiger Marts, things like that?
Some convenience stores will have wine. The law that passed in 2014 that is making this happen specifies that a retailer has to have a minimum of 1,200 square feet on the inside, and the store also has to have at least 20% of its sales in food. So if a convenience store meets those two criteria, then it is eligible to apply for a wine license. And we are pleasantly surprised with how many are doing it. There are big convenience store chains that are applying for all of their stores. And it was originally thought that most convenience stores just wouldn't qualify, but some are.
Very interesting. I got a lot of questions for you. We have several guests on hold, and we're going to get to them in a moment to take calls for you, Joe, Greg, Taylor, and others. Stay where you are. The lines are open, 737-7587. Any questions about wine coming in? He knows his stuff. We'll be back with more right after this. Stay with us.